Testing and continuing right along. I'm debating whether or not to leave in this initial script. I don't think it's necessary at these early stages, but since people may be absolute beginners, yes, go ahead and do this. You can find online almost everywhere an import Rhino script syntax is rs, making a list, A equals an open list with square brackets, and then do an iteration for I in range, whatever you want. You can hard code it if you like. I'll be changing this when I do something a little more interesting afterwards. And then use your if statement, and I've decided to divide modular, take a modular of I modular 2, which means it's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. It's going to leave a remainder. And so long as that uh, is equal to 0, then it will add a point. So if it's an even number, it's going to be 2 divided by 2 will equal 0. So then it will put it down on the x-axis. And then if it's not that, it will end up throwing that dot up on the y-axis. So it's a pretty interesting thing to conceptually think about. And then you're just appending that list with p because you've set those points to p. And that's where the point's going to appear. So it's going to go modular 1 divided by 2 is not 0. 1 divided by 2, sorry, 2 divided by 0 divided by 2 is 0. 1 divided by 2 is not 0. 2 divided by 2 is 0. 3 divided by 2 is not 0. 4 divided by 2 is 0. And so that's kind of how modular that little equation there works in percentage. If you don't know that, just take some basic Python. I'd recommend getting a book like Python Easy Steps. My kids get through this book, and they're 8 and 10. You can look at Michael Dane online, and he'll teach you anything you need to know in about 30 minutes to 4 hours. But you have to know a bit about Python to get there. Now, what I ended up doing once again was I was using add point, and this is all hard coded pretty much except for the iteration, well, which is hard coded, I guess. And then I've converted that over to Rhino geometry as RG and made it work with the list B. And all I've done is dropped in a Y at 5 hard coded here, so my curve would end up here. And because I changed the range from 10 down to 5, you can see the curve's a bit different. And so I plugged it in. Even though it's only bringing out points, I did use Grasshopper to throw it into a curve so I can change the degree on those curves. You can see I can play with it a little bit. Now, there's a lot of potential for making a canopy with this one. And so basically that's it. Get that figured out. Our next script, I'll comment out this or take it out completely, and I'll go hard into, actually I'll show you exactly what I'm starting. Well, I'll jump over to it. Basically, get this figured out so you can get some points coming out. You can read them. You understand how to use Rhino script syntax and know how to use Rhino Common with Rhino Geometry as RG. And now we can do some jazz and have some funk and have some fun with this. And just these basic things. I mean, it will get trickier and trickier as we go. But as this panel gets larger, these will get smaller because I'll be putting all the data into the GhPython script, and this screen will get more and more complex. So please stay with this series. 3 minutes just to walk through that. You've got the script right in front of you. I'll put them up on GitHub when I'm done this series every 10, and you can just have the files to play with. This is the way to start. It's what they do in processing, in my opinion, Daniel Schiffman. I haven't found anything online yet that really pairs these two as an introductory level. You've got a book that'll focus on Rhino script syntax. You have LinkedIn videos that'll focus on geometries with Rhino Geometry and Rhino Common. And for those who want to stay in Python and not move on to C#, this is the series you want to watch. This is the one you want to share with people. And if you can tolerate my voice and my antics, like the Blender guru, I don't know if I'm that long drawn out, but I could be if I wasn't so cheap and I'd pay for more than 15-minute videos and like seeing myself a little more. Anyhow, Andrew Price, pretty awesome. Blender, pretty awesome. Got me going. And for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, go make some sprinkles on a donut. Thanks.